about. And just, you know what? I'm being intentional this week about thinking about how I treat others, how I speak with others, and how I hear others. There's a lot of pain out there, um, and a lot of controversy. There are just wars everywhere. And I can't help but be heartbroken for all the mothers who are losing children right now. And I just continue to pray for restraint. I pray for a miracle that this Israel Palestine situation will find some peaceful resolution. But there's some good news coming out. Two more hostages were releases. So I'm celebrating for those families. So those are four people who'll be reunited with their families. In the meantime, lest we forget, there's still all this going on in Ukraine, and we're praying for them as well. So you're watching Living Life Authentically, and I'm Natalie B. McKenzie, and our fall season is brought to you holy, 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 thankfully, by Diageo North America. And what is Diageo North America promoting this time, especially? It's Drink IQ. If you've never heard of Drink IQ, go to the website, Google it, just put in drink, the letter I, the letter Q, and it's all about drinking responsibly. So, yes, they are the makers of Johnny Walker Black, and they also have, I can think of something we all enjoy is Bailey's, Ciroc, and so much more. But they want us to drink responsibly. So thank you, Diageo North America. We are so grateful. Well, in case you haven't noticed, I am decked to the nines. I got a little sparkle, a little bit of glitter, and even the jewels today are courtesy of none other than Hope Wade Designs. And Hope Wade has been dressing us all this season, and we are grateful for that. Thank you, Hope. We look forward to more fashions from you. And Hope Wade's Rockland Fashion Week takes place November 4th at 5:30 p.m. And this is going to be taking place at the Palisades Center in Nyack, New Jersey. More to come. Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you, Diageo North America. So let's get to regular order. Today we have a guest that I'm going to give you all a little bit of time. Get your teenagers, get your young drivers, get your sons. As a matter of fact, if you're out driving, you want to hear what our guest today has to talk about. She's a devoted mother and wife who has dedicated over 2 decades to a successful career in the field of commercial insurance. With her passion for advocacy and strong commitment to making a difference in her community, she emerged as a formidable advocate for mothers who have tragically lost their children to violence. And you would never believe she's lost a child senselessly to violence because she's just so upbeat, positive, kind, and caring. She's been inspired by the profound impact of the death of her son, Jordan Bryan, and she channeled her grief into meaningful action. She founded the Through Her Eyes podcast, which provides a platform for sharing the stories and experiences of mothers who have lost their children to senseless violence. She is also the founder and CEO of Live Lawyer app. Help me welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Paulina M. Bryant.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, hello.
Hi, Paulina. Thank you so much for joining us. What a pleasure to have you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I can't help but say to you, I am so sorry for the loss of your son, but
Thank you.
one would never know it looking at you. You've
Thank
just
you. Thank you.
you have such a beautiful disposition, a kind, warm heart. And I've only recently met you, but when I met you, I knew I wanted you to be a guest with us so you could share your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you were born, where you grew up, and what went into the making of such a positive woman such as you.
Well, I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I live in Orange, New Jersey. I worked in the insurance field for over 20 years. I'm a mom. I have 5 step kids, two
Hold up,
adopted, and two
slow
of my
down. I want you to slow down a little bit because there's a whole lot more to you before you became a mom. Tell us
Yes.
about growing up in Newark. Tell us about what was shaping you culturally, what was happening around you, and who you
Well,
were as little young Paulina.
as little young Paulina, I just, to me, I tried to follow my aunt. She loved to read books, and she loved to just, I'm just a homebody. And what I did was, as a youngster, I mean, I did the regular things kids did, like, went to the park, played, and things like that. But the thing that really shaped me was my aunt, and also my uncle and my mom back in the riots of the 60s and things like that, just hearing those stories and just thinking about civil rights and things like that as well. So that's what kind of shaped me as a young person to who I am today.
So the civil rights movement was happening around you as a young person, and you're watching your aunt, your uncle, and your mom as they were
Mhm.
influencing your life. That's pretty cool. And you're a
Yeah.
bookworm.
Yes. I was a bookworm like the youngsters, all the Judy Bloom books, back in the day. And I'm just a homebody, just a homebody.
That's phenomenal. So after maturing a bit, where did you go to high school and what
I
were
went
your
to Orange
interests?
High. I went to Orange High School, 1986 graduation. And then I went to Berkeley College for 1 year. And I didn't finish college because I came upon great opportunities for working where I
Mhm.
can make my own money. And I just didn't think college at the time was good for me. So I didn't go to college, only
So
one
tell me
semester.
about working because it sounds to me like you had great opportunities and you seized the moment and went after them.
Yeah, my first great job was at Mountainside Hospital in Montclair.
Mhm.
And then from there, I went over to Overlook for a little while. And then I went over to AIG, the insurance company, and I had a great opportunity I could not pass up. And then I was at Zurich for the last 9 years, and another great opportunity I could not pass up. It was just great money, great people, and I love working in the insurance field.
And so tell me about what you did in the insurance field.
Well, what I did was I started out as a customer service rep, and then I went to an underwriting assistant. Then I became an underwriter, and then I became an underwriter support team manager, where I managed the underwriting support.
Fabulous. Look at
Yes,
you. So it sounds like you're a go-getter there. So tell
yes,
me, when did you meet your husband? Tell me about starting your family and when you became this devoted mother.
yes. I met my husband back in 1988 at the club, and I didn't think anything of it at first, but we started dating, and in 1990, when I was 22 years old, I got married. And my husband and I have been together for 33 years now, and we have five. Like I said, I have five stepchildren, two adopted, and two of our own. So we have a big family here.
You have 9 children, but having 7 wasn't enough. You adopted 2?
We adopted two. And the reason why I adopted the two is because my mom, I was married, and she kept saying to me, like, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna have? I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna have kids. I said, won't you adopt some? And then she adopted two, and then she passed on, so they became my two.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a story. Tell me what it's like a day in your household with 9 children.
Oh my goodness. Right now, everybody's an adult, but back then it was a lot of moving parts in this household. A lot of crying, tears, a lot of laughter. It was a lot going on in this house when they were all here.
Wow. So you mentioned the loss of one of your sons. Share that with
Hmm.
us, please. Talk to
Okay.
us about your
So
son.
yeah, this is the child. I don't know if people have the same kids, but you can basically, most of your kids, you can kind of convince them to do whatever you want it to do, but you have that one child that is just over here doing its own thing, and you try to bring them back in, but that one child is not the one that's listening. But um my son Jordan, he was 23 years old, and we were actually having a cookout at our house. So I had all my family here, everybody's here at my house. And then all of a sudden I'm in the house, but then I hear his friend scream his name. Jordan. So my husband and I go outside and we hear gunshots. So when we heard the gunshots, we start running towards his car because we saw his car door was open. And my husband and I, when we got to his car, we thought that he had ran, but we had saw him lying in the driveway of one of the homes up the street. So I turned him over because I see that he's struggling to breathe. And then the police come and they're like, ma'am, step back. We don't know the shooter. I'm like, sir, this is my child. So when I said that to the police officer, he started chest compressions and I started breathing in his mouth. And then my son actually took his last breath in my mouth. I felt his whole spirit leave his body and come into my body. So I feel like he never left me. I feel like he's in me. So that was on April 17th, 2016, a very unfortunate day. But I don't feel like he left me. I feel like he's with me.
God bless you, and may his soul rest in
Thank you.
peace. It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
How have you devoted your life to his memory, his life, his legacy?
Well, for my son, for his life and legacy, I just a quick story. Like when your child dies, first of all, it feels like somebody split you open, took out your heart, your soul, and your spirit. You feel empty. That's number one. Number two, I found out that my son did a lot of things that I didn't know he did that were very good. Like he was going to Essex County College, so I went to get to the bursar to do something, and I forget what I did. But then the bursar person went over, and she actually came back with this little tiny Italian lady. I'm like, and the Italian lady's crying, and she's crying. I'm like, what's the matter? She was like, why didn't you tell me your son had died and had a funeral? I was like, I didn't even know he knew you to tell you that he had a funeral. She said your son came into the classroom every morning because my husband decided to go back to school with coffee and donuts, and he would help my husband with his homework prior to class every day. So those are the things that make me feel good about my son because I know he did, you know what I'm saying? He did some things that warms my heart. So yeah.
He went to visit with her every morning with coffee and donuts. Oh,
Her husband went back to school, and every morning he would come with coffee and donuts and make sure his homework was done because he was an older man.
wow. That
Yeah.
is just heartwarming, and we think our kids are not
Thank
paying
you.
attention. That's lovely.
Exactly.
So you started the podcast through her eyes. Tell us about that
Yes.
podcast and who you're talking with.
Okay, so through her eyes is a podcast that I came together with four other mommies who lost their son, and we went over with I discussed it over with Anthony Frazier from ABF Creative, and he was like, well, let's do a podcast. We're gonna have each mommy tell a story. So we have mommies that tell stories about how they're losing their son. Like I had one mommy who actually lost her only living relative was her son.
Mm.
I used to have to go to court with her, have to make sure she was okay. I had to actually go to her house and make sure she was fine. Like these are things that I did. And then I had another mommy who lost all three of her sons. I just can't comprehend that. Like I lost one son, she lost three sons. I don't think this woman, how do you smile after that? After you lose three sons? How do you even? And she said she felt sorry for her two daughters because she said, I don't pay any attention to them because I lost three sons. So it's
Oh,
very hard, to lose a child, but I'm an advocate for mommies who've lost their children. They'll call me and, questions, and we could talk, or we'll go out to lunch, or, things like that. So just to try to help them out because I know exactly what it is to, feels like to lose your child tragically.
wow. So, where's that podcast heard?
It's heard on all platforms. It's on I can't remember the platforms right now. Spotify, I know it's on all the major
Okay,
platforms. It's called Through Her Eyes. I'm sorry, my
wonderful.
brain just
That's okay. That's okay. All
all the major
platforms that
platforms.
podcasts can be heard. Let's talk about the Live Lawyer app.
Okay. So Live Lawyer app, which is not complete yet. We're getting to the MVP stage. Live Lawyer's app is an app that I came up with from my son who actually was murdered. He had purchased a new car, and he kept calling me on the phone like, "Ma, the cops keep stopping me. I don't know what to say." To which I said, "Too bad you can't Skype a lawyer." Then I'm like, maybe you can like Skype a lawyer. So I called my patent attorney and I got the paperwork together, but it took me some time. This was back in 2014 till now to find the right person, because at that time, at 2014, you didn't hear about moms putting apps together, or where do you go to put an app together. So it was very hard for me to find the right person. I mean, I found one person, all he did was take my dollars, but he didn't produce what I needed. So I just recently found the right person to help me put this together. So it's not all the way together, but Live Lawyer app is an app where if you're stopped by the police and you can activate the app, a lawyer will come up via Skype or a FaceTime like feature, and you let the lawyer represent you immediately. Then we're going to add a feature where you can select your contacts. So once it's activated, the contacts you've selected can actually get notified that you've been stopped in your location. And then our phrase 3 is going to be voice activation. Because what if the cop tells you can't touch your phone? You say Live Lawyer app, it automatically pops on. Everything gets saved to the cloud. Now, none of this is ready, but I'm working towards getting it all ready. So it's a hard task, but I'm working on it.
But it's been 7 years in the making, at least 7 years in the making.
Right.
And the
Right.
whole premise of this app called Live Lawyer app that you own solely, is that correct? You're the sole owner.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
the purpose of the app is, if you find you're being stopped by the police, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to open the app with voice activation. With voice activation, you open the app then reaches out to an attorney. Yes.
Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
attorney then speaks to the cops on your behalf, and everything is being recorded as it happens. It,
Yes.
the
Everything
app
is being recorded.
the app will then be able to notify those you have selected to tell them that you have been stopped and to let them know where you are located.
Right.
Okay.
That's what it's going to do.
So when we spoke, I understood that you were in the testing phase. Is that correct?
Yes, we're trying to find attorneys to help us test so we can make sure that it's working. The first phase is working. So I'm working very diligently looking for any criminal attorneys or any attorneys just to test the app for us, because we need to make sure that it's going to work. So if anybody needs anybody's listening that's an attorney, please just, contact me, and I can put you on the list to test the app.
Okay, so let's take action on that right now. We want to
Okay.
provide your contact information right now. Tell us, how
Okay.
can the attorneys reach out to you, where they should reach out, and what you need of them, please.
Oh, okay, so they can reach me at info@livelawyer.app.com, and they can put in their name, and they can put in, you have the message, put in the message that you want to test and your email address, and I will send you out the information that you need to test the app. So it's info@livelawyer.app. You can contact me.
And that's any attorney, any practicing attorney, as long as they're an attorney. It doesn't matter
If
what
they're
field.
an attorney, yeah, yeah, it's a practicing attorney. And for the first part of it, we wanted to be criminal attorneys, but some other attorneys know criminal and they know other parts of law, but we have to test this app. So if you're available and you think you're able to test this app, please reach out to me. I'm really looking for attorneys.
Excellent. How are you funded, Paulina?
Self-funded right now. I'm not funded by anyone, self-funded out of my pocket. So yeah.
And is this going to be a situation where you're going to be looking for people to participate with this with you, or this is going to be solely owned by you?
Well, right now, solely owned by me, but of course, I'm going to, as we grow, of course, we're going to need funding. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for funding as well. I'm just right now at the stage where I want to make sure we're able to do what we said with the app. So that's where I am right now.
Okay, this is phenomenal. I know for sure that we will be able to share your information. There are attorneys we know that watch the show that may be interested in connecting with you so they can find out more information. I am particularly interested in this app because I think it is definitely something that is
Thank you.
needed in our community. Too often we hear
Thank
about
you.
these stops. And I just read this case last week that really bothered me. This man served 26 years in prison in Florida for a crime he did not commit, was released, went to Georgia to visit with his mom, and when he left her home, he was stopped by the police and he was shot dead. Now, how is it that we can stop and pick up people who murder multiple people in synagogues, churches, whatever, and we can arrest them without incident, but we
Mhm.
can't have a traffic stop without killing these Black men? So this app really
Right.
gets my attention.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, there's so much more, Paulina, that we want to know from you, especially
Okay.
around how, I'm going to ask it because how do you stay so positive? How are your other children?
Well, I found that I am the I'm not my husband's the head of the household, but I'm the head of the household. And whatever mood that I have, my kids and husband have. So if I'm like drained, down all the time, they're down all the time. And I'm the
Hmm.
type of person that we're gonna I'm gonna live my life to the fullest no matter what. There's nothing else we can do but live. So that's just the way I feel. Like I'm just gonna live my life to the fullest. Anything that happens, I'm just gonna take it on head on and just move on. I can't, stop and just drain myself and just not do anything. I'm not that type of person.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Your husband's the head of the household and you're the heart of the home. So what you do, the kids, you're feeding
Exactly.
everybody with your energy. That makes all the sense in the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
you've been listening to us talk with Paulina Bryan. She is the founder and CEO of Live Lawyer app. She is also a podcaster of Through Her Eyes. She is a wife and mom who has endured the most hurtful thing any mother should ever have to go through, and that is to lose a child. But bless her heart, she's got a positive soul, a positive spirit, and boy, is she channeling
Thank
her
you.
energies in the right direction. So if you're an attorney, a judge, or
Thank
know an
you.
attorney or a judge, and you're listening, Paulina is in need of attorneys to test the app. Please reach out to her at info@livelawyerapp.com. It's such a pleasure talking with you today, Paulina. If you ever
Thank
need
you. I
anything else,
appreciate
and
it.
as you get the app moved along, be sure to keep us posted. We want to be able to tell everybody
I sure
about
will.
this.
I
Awesome.
sure
Thank
will.
you.
I sure will.
Thank you for joining us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here at Living Life Authentically, with yours truly, Natalie B. McKenzie, and at the Whole Woman, we have a slew of things upcoming for fall. So as we get ready for Thanksgiving, we're going to be talking with Center for Food Action and their new executive director, none other than Nicole Davis. And we're going to be partnering with them to create a table of thanks in a spirit of giving. And I want to invite you to help us to help put food on the table for the families in need. So we're going to be talking with Nicole Davis next Monday right here on Living Life Authentically. In the meantime, guess what? We're getting ready for our holiday fundraiser, our annual event that we do every year, first Sunday in December at the Capitol Grill in Paramus. December 3rd this year, mark your calendar. You're going to start getting the invitations. You're going to start getting the notices to get your tickets because it's going to be sold out. We're going to be doing so many amazing things, having lots of fun. And you know what it's like at the Capitol Grill. The food and the drinks are never short. So get ready to join us if you'd like to be one of our partners or sponsors, or if you'd like to participate in our extra 30 minutes, our extra shopping period that we'll have at the start of the event this year. Let us know what your product is. Make sure you are woman owned and that you own the business and the products. We want to have you come out, share your wares, and share with us. And so that will be December 3rd. And that's at the Capitol Grill. It's our annual fundraiser and toy drive. It'll be held on Sunday at the Capitol Grill in Paramus. Now, remember, our toy drive, every year the toys are donated to the children of incarcerated parents. And we do this in partnership with the Bergen County Sheriff's Office. And as you can imagine, Sheriff Curitan and his team gets the list of the kids. They tell us what they need. We make sure we get all the toys. We get them wrapped. Thank you very much to the Tates. The Deidre Tate and her family are the big holiday wrappers. Okay. I'm not the one that's doing it. They help to make this happen. And we have a big wrapping party and we celebrate the fact that we're able to put a smile on the faces of these kids. If you'd like to donate toys, if you'd like to help to support any of these causes, please reach out to us. Let us know. Remember, the Whole Woman is the for-profit arm, but our nonprofit organization, Fighting Atrocities Against Women Worldwide, is what all these philanthropic ventures happen under. There's going to be so much more to share. Stay tuned. Remember, if you're not receiving our newsletter, be sure to visit our website, www.twwtheWholewoman.com, so you can subscribe to receive our newsletter, so you'll always be the first to know all our news, so you can get your tickets. Remember, we're going to have some ambassador tickets available, VIP tickets available, general tickets available, and cocktails only. So we'll have something for everyone. But most importantly, we want to have you help us put food on the table for those in need and smiles on the faces of the children whose parents are incarcerated. You've been watching Living Life Authentically. I'm Natalie B. McKenzie, and our guest today was none other than Paulina Bryant, the founder and CEO of Live Lawyer app. More to come. Stay tuned, and thank you for joining us. I wish you enough life to live, enough joy to give, enough love to share.